Welcome to episode 12 of Where in the World, the detailed showcase of the cities and locations that have been visited in the Arcane Adventures campaign setting. You can check out the map on screen that details the general location of where we are talking about during today's episode. Or can you? Let's jump right into episode 12, Where in the World, the Lost Island of Time. The Island of Time. Created by Tempest Tallus, also known as Magnus Evermore. Known to history as the author of time itself, or better, simply, as the Chronomancer and the god of time. The island, formed from a mixture of xanthranium and axikite, which is known as floatstone, has magical levitating and anti-gravity properties. The chain of islands in the floating paradise, hidden far above the clouds from the rest of the world. In early Alethean history, some number of millennia ago, the island was open to visitors from the planet below. But, as time would have it, the island became just a fairy tale and was lost to the history books. Its location unknown as it drifts through the atmosphere. Now known as the Lost Island of Time. Few may ever find such a place. Although a handful of books mention the island, many have searched for it and have returned without ever seeing this fabled place. The string of floating islands, with each island serving its own function, and many serving as a trial for those lucky enough to even stumble across this sky-high archipelago. Towering on the highest elevated island is a pristine temple structure that is fabled as the residence place for Tempest Tallus. The lowest island, known as the Fields of Flowering, is the landing point for incoming travelers. This large island is home to a plethora of flowers and flora, often many huge plants that are a welcoming sight to weary folk. This peaceful field is representative of the very beginning of time, a calm start. The second island, standing above the first, is the Forest of Calm, a place easy to wander and even easier to get lost in a number of strolling and twisting roads. Crossing a wooden bridge onto the third island, known as Pandemonia, a forest full of bamboo and jungle trees, and home to hundreds of wild pandas, many of which believe pandas to be Magnus's favorite animal. It is written somewhere that the ball of Antomuron lies deep underground on this island in a sacred dungeon, kept away. Another bridge reaches the fourth and smallest island of the archipelago, known simply as Statue Island, where a number of statues of what look like guardians of the island and a taller statue of the depiction of Tempest Tallus stand. This island is elegantly designed as a small hedge garden with ancient marble paths, where sometimes the guardians may awaken as golems to test travelers' true intents. Another bridge leads to the steeped island of the Forest of Whispers, where each path diverges for each visitor and where whispers taunt and haunt each mind that passes through here. Following the steps even further through these trees, as one makes the forested climb, the sixth island is home to the towering redwood trees, known as the Forest of Eternity, where time is known to draw out within the forest. Decades pass inside, but only hours for the rest of the world. From here, another bridge leads to a tall tree on the island known as the Tree of Time. Not nearly as large as the Tree of Ailey, but this tree looks much older, and a small stream seeps out of the bark and fills a small pool found at the roots of this tree. Finally, one last bridge leads to the ancient, massive temple. The gargantuan doors of this temple open into this array of featured artifacts. And then directly beyond here, inside this long corridor, stands a spinning orb in the center, the legendary chronosphere. Tempest Tallus tends to stand between the door and the chronosphere. Beyond this chamber are branching hallways and stairwells. Some of these hallways are the hallways of memories, the hallway of the past, the stairwell of the future, and the room of the present. And even more are bedrooms and workshops of the god of time himself. For the handful of mortals capable and fated to reach this place, they are awestruck by the pristine and lonely temple, where the very threads of time flow in and out. A timeless space, filled with all of time interwoven into existence, and the residence of a powerful, endless deity, a place that mortal beings dare step, but do so in reverence and peace. We hope you've enjoyed this closer look at the Temple of Time and the lost island that it sits upon. What was once a place regularly visited by mortal footfalls before the Centrum Wars is now a location floating and forever lost to the stories, drifting in the skies of the planet Ilethia. That's all for this episode of Where in the World. We'll see you next time.